Hi guys and welcome to a cEDH card review for Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. And wow, do we have a lot of things to talk about here. First thing we have to mention is that this is a really pushed card and it could get really pricey because it's probably going to see play in Modern and Legacy. Now luckily for us it's not legal in Standard, so the price has a form of ceiling, but it might still be something for your wallet to consider. It is a 1 mana cost legendary monkey pirate, and honestly it's adorable. I really like the card art here. A 2/1 with dash, red and generic, which means that you can cast it for 2 mana, it gains haste, attacks immediately and goes back to your hand for some faster plays if you really need it this turn. Whenever Ragavan Nimble Pilferer deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. So this is both ramp and card draw into 1 red mana and a 2/1, so it's a little bit of an aggro card. I have actually theorized around a creature that does exactly this. It was 1 green mana, a 1/2 that was legendary, and when it attacked and dealt combat damage to a opponent, you would gain a red mana in your next main phase. And I actually thought that might be a little bit too strong. And then they make this, and yeah, I never thought they would make a card this potentially powerful, but they did. Let's begin with looking at this as your potential commander. The answer is it's probably not that good in cEDH as there is, or in casual EDH as well, as there is just a much better option for you, Grenzo Havoc Racer, doing the exact same thing but giving the ability to all of your creatures, and this can actually even goad creatures that your opponents control to force them attack various directions. Sure, this is making a treasure, but this is doing so much more. Now it's 2 mana, but you could easily cast a 1-drop monkey on your turn 1 and then cast this goblin at your turn 2 and then start to gain value immediately. I think this goblin is going straight into the Grenzo deck, in fact. But there are probably still gonna be casual players that are still gonna make the monkey into their commander because it's just so cute. But there is a cEDH deck that is greatly benefiting from the monkey and have been dreaming of this card. Cece 5 color is so happy. I am so happy, and the community in the Discord is so happy about this print. It's more or less everything CC have been dreaming of. It's 1 mana cost legendary, which means you can find this when CC is a 2/2. It's not on the color of Bunt, which is going to be important. We're going to look at that soon. And it has increasing treasures, which means it can make mana of any color if you're able to connect, which isn't that hard usually. You're usually finding one opponent that doesn't have a blocker. And it's kind of drawing cards. So if you don't have anything to do, CC aren't able to activate because various reasons, an opposition agent, curse totem, or maybe CC isn't even in play. You could gain some small value with this and gain some treasures that you can use for Kinnan and CC activations. It is just a good legendary creature that will help CC activate faster because you just pay 1 red mana, make CC into a 3/3, and then you can start finding 2-drops. Now why am I making such a fuss about that it's red and not Bunt? You see, black and red are some of the more rare legendary colors that you have inside the CC deck, because most of the legendaries are Bunt because those are either card draw, hate bears, or mana producing legendaries. And the reason why I want to have the black and red as well is because of the Bloom Tender combo. So if you tap Bloom Tender in this scenario, you will make Naya colors. If you just have one more, either blue or black, or maybe both, you can win the game from that. There's another boss lady that I think is gonna be really happy about this monkey as well, and that is Tymna the Weeder, that is going for some form of odd Nas strategy, usually with either Crom or Jeska to gain the red mana for the monkey. I don't think it's something for all form of odd Nasium decks, but it's definitely something that is considerable for Tymna, because for 1 mana you could look at it as a mana dork that can attack and create a Tymna trigger, as well as generating a mana at the same time, as well as giving you a trigger of its own and exiling a card from one of your opponents, And in this format, we are all playing sorta the same kind of matchup, mirror decks in general, so you might be able to hit cards from your opponents that you're playing yourself. And now suddenly the stats matters. Most of the creatures inside this format that we are playing in cEDH have a toughness of 2 give and take. Hull Breacher has a toughness of 2, Opposition Agent has a toughness of 2, Tumna has a toughness of 2, and this monkey is able to attack into those creatures and threaten to trade with them, meaning it has a chance of actually going through, because most people won't trade their Hull Breachers and Oppo Agents and Tumnas to this little tiny 1 mana cost monkey. And the deck that I'm kinda talking about that is trying to probably play this monkey is playing Jeska as the partner commander with the Tumna to get the Mardu color identities, and Jeska is really good at wiping away creatures, hate bears and blockers and such, making it possible for your tiny pirate monkey to go through. But there are so many decks out there that could potentially play this monkey for the thing that I'm gonna say now. It is a mana dork, kinda, that requires to get through blockers that will also give you a kinda card draw. And mana dorks are in generally good, and this is a red mana dork. It's easy to throw into most decks that kinda desires mana dorks. Now, which one is going to be better? Either a turn 1 Bird of Paradise or a turn 1 Amazing Monkey. You're usually gonna have the Amazing Monkey as a better turn 1 because you're gonna find opponents that doesn't have blockers, and this is mana that you can stack and keep. Bird of Paradise, if you're not able to use this mana this turn, you lose it, but this is mana that you can keep to your next turn. Now, in the later stage of the game, this might fall off a tiny bit, just because opponents might have blockers. Then again, this is to attack, so they might not have a blocker that they are willing to sack to this monkey. And because so many decks are playing Bird of Paradise, I definitely think there's gonna be so many cEDH decks that are gonna play this, just because, honestly, I really think this is a much better version of a Bird of Paradise. Now I want to talk about something completely different, no longer a card review, more of what do we want cEDH to actually be. And this card, in my personal opinion, is a great card for cEDH because it's bringing combat to cEDH. This creature wanna go to combat and connect to gain value. In my opinion, one of the best cards Wizards ever printed for cEDH is Tumna the Weaver, and that might surprise some people, but I really like the fact that Tumna brought combat to cEDH. It brought the concept of sending your attackers to your opponents, not because you wanted to hurt them, not because you thought that combat damage was a valuable thing, but because you gained value from doing it. It meant that suddenly blockers became good. Just imagine if this could tap to create a treasure and exile the top card of a opponent's library and you're allowed to play it this turn. That would be pretty bonkers and honestly a bit boring and overpowered. But now you need to invest maybe some resources into making this capable of going to war. And it is possible to interact with this just by having creatures. This means that creatures are gonna matter more inside cEDH. This means that board wipes are gonna matter more inside cEDH, but it also means that we are nerfing ad nauseum inside this format without banning any cards whatsoever. Because if combat is a thing, if people are going to combat to gain value, then they are hurting opponents, which is making ad nauseum a little bit harder to win with. I am so happy about this little tiny cute pilferer pirate monkey, and when people figure out that it is just like a Bird of Paradise, I think this is going to run around all over the places. The more I look at this monkey pirate, the more I think cEDH is heading in a great direction. Why did you have to be so expensive though? Oh, I'm happy it's not printed in standard at least. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and you wanna support me, feel free to share my videos or even checking out my Patreon page. Also, purchasing cards from the TCG Players website using the affiliate link in the description below of the video will also help the channel grow. So a big thank you to all of you.